Alrighty, good afternoon. This morning as I was kind of getting ready for the day and reading my Bible, I just kept thinking and read some articles about what's been going on at Asbury and different colleges around the nation. And unless you've been hiding under a rock, just so you know, people are saying, "Oh, revivals breaking out," at this college and that college, and a lot of it all has started with a chapel service at Asbury. I haven't been. Not affiliated with any of those things. I'm just, I just had some thoughts on it that I wanted to share today as kind of a response to some of those things that are going on. I live in Cleveland, Tennessee, and we have Lee University here, and they're saying, well, the same thing is happening at Lee, and once again, different colleges, and it's interesting seeing the response of different people. There are some people who are very skeptical of it. There are some people who are in a way almost like frustrated or angry by it, and there are some who are like, why aren't you there? You need to be there. And there's been a lot of different responses, and I've even found within myself, or some of those, some responses are in a way, I guess, more like fleshly or carnal, which I know aren't right, and then others are like, that's great. And so it's interesting to see the wide range of responses with with what's going on. And I read an article earlier by the college president at Asbury I thought was very good, and he had mentioned that he's like, whether it's a revival, that really remains to be seen, but it is at least an awakening. And he was saying that we need to find a way to make sure that the fire that these students have, that it is in our, that it becomes part of their normal life whenever the services stop. And I thought, well, that's a good response. And once again, it just had me thinking today, and I guess how I feel about it and what I think about different things like this happening. And it's like, okay, is it a bad thing that these students are seeking God, whether they're trying to replicate it or whether they're just hungry, to see God move? No, absolutely not. It is a good thing. And it just reminds me of the verse that in Jeremiah that says that you will seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. I think the attitude that I can almost most easily identify with sometimes is just that idea of, why didn't we see this sooner? Well, why didn't that happen when I was in college? Well, why didn't happen? We've been praying for a revival for years. Why hasn't that happened, at this church or, or that church? And sometimes it's easy to think those things, but I love that verse. I think it's such a great reminder in the midst of everything that's going on, is that the Lord promises us is that when we seek Him with our whole heart, He will be found. And you may be thinking, oh, well, that's Jeremiah. That was to a different audience. Well, guess what? It's also in James. He says, draw near to me and I will draw near to you. So if you're in the camp that's maybe almost like a little bit, you're excited for what's going on, but almost a little discouraged because maybe you're not seeing it in your own life, just remember what the Bible says about it. It says that when you seek me with your whole heart, I will be found by you. And even in Matthew, it says, keep on praying, keep on fasting, keep on knocking, the door will be answered unto you. So don't get discouraged. Keep seeking the Lord. I think that's the biggest message that I wanted to get out today, is that if you're feeling discouraged, maybe a little, once again, excited for the move that is happening, but a little let down that maybe you're not seeing it in your own church, in your own life, or maybe you just graduated from Lee or Asbury, you're like, why didn't that happen when I was there? Just remember, it's not like you missed out on God. It's not like God's like, well, those are the only places I'm moving, so sorry you missed it. No, that's not it at all. He says that if you seek Him with your whole heart, He will be found by you. That if you draw near to Him, He will draw near to you. He says that if you knock and you keep knocking, you keep fasting, you keep praying, that the door is going to be open to you. So don't give up. Don't get discouraged. For those of you who have been praying revival, keep praying for revival. For those of you who have been praying for just an awakening, keep praying for it, because we get excited when we see these little pockets of it. But I have no doubt in my mind that God doesn't want to see just little pockets of it. Like, He's excited to see the work begin, but He wants to see it everywhere. And not just in that, like, He wants to see it even individually in us. Like, He wants to see us aflame. He wants to see us excited to be in His presence. He wants to see us spending time with Him. Even if there's not a service around us, or we're not in the context of a church setting, He still wants us to seek Him and to find Him. And He guarantees that He will be found when we search for Him. He's not trying to hide from you. He's not trying to thinking like, oh gee, maybe she'll guess. Maybe He'll guess what I'm doing. No, He wants to be found by us. He wants us to truly be seeking Him. So take some encouragement from that today. Every time you're hearing about these different revivals that are popping up, be excited, But also remember, you know what? The Lord wants me to draw near to Him. The Lord wants me to be in that type of a relationship with Him. So be reminded of that today. Have a good one. Bye.